You can only win when your mind is stronger than your emotions, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something real quick. Life ain't no joke. If you want to win, if you want to be that person who stands tall while the world's tossing storms at you, you gotta have one thing first and foremost, a mind stronger than your emotions. Now, I know emotions are powerful. They'll grab you, shake you, and sometimes make you feel like you're riding a roller coaster you didn't buy a ticket for. But here's the truth. Your emotions are not the boss of you. They're like that little kid throwing a tantrum in the grocery store. Loud, messy, but not running the show. If you let your emotions run wild, you'll never win. You'll be chasing your tail, reacting instead of acting. But when your mind steps up and says, "Hold up, emotions, let me handle this," that's when the magic happens. That's when you start to take control, make smart decisions, and keep moving forward even when you want to quit. It's not about ignoring your feelings, it's about mastering them. Your emotions can be the fuel for your fire, but if you let them control the wheel, you're gonna crash every time. You win when you think bigger, when you plan smarter, when you don't let frustration, fear, or doubt steal your victory. So today, I'm telling you, build that mental muscle. Train your mind to be stronger than whatever emotions are trying to knock you down. Because when your mind is stronger, your emotions work for you, not against you. And that, my friends, is how you win every single time. Recognize the power of your emotions, but don't let them control you. Let me tell you something. Your emotions are powerful. Ain't no denying that. They can take you from cloud 9 to rock bottom in a matter of minutes. You ever wake up feeling like you can conquer the world, and by noon you're curled up wondering why you even got out of bed? Yeah, that's emotions. They don't ask for permission. They just show up. But here's the deal. Just because your emotions are loud, don't mean they're right. Just because you feel something, don't mean it's the truth. Feelings are like waves. They come, they go. Sometimes they crash hard, but they always pass. You can't let a temporary feeling mess up a permanent blessing. You gotta recognize them, though. Don't ignore your emotions like they ain't there. That's how you end up blowing up at the wrong time or breaking down when you should be building up. Recognizing your emotions is like turning on the lights in a dark room. You see what's really there. And some of y'all been living in the dark too long, thinking every emotion you feel is gospel. Nah, it's not. Just because you feel insecure don't mean you ain't capable. Just because you feel angry don't mean you gotta swing on somebody. Emotions are messengers, not dictators. Let your emotions pass through you, not control you. You ever seen a GPS reroute when you miss a turn? That's what your mind got do when emotions try to take you off course. You feel it, acknowledge it, and then reroute. Stay on track. Now, when you let emotions control you, you end up making permanent decisions based on temporary moods. That's how people mess up marriages, lose jobs, burn bridges they need to cross later. You can't let emotions have that kind of power. Emotions are supposed to inform your decisions, not make them. Let them give you the temperature, but don't let them set the thermostat. That's your job. You the one in control of the dial. You gotta be the manager of your emotions. Think about it. If your emotions were employees, some of y'all would have fired them already. You can't let fear keep calling in sick, or anger show up late and start yelling at everybody. Get your emotional team in order. Here's the truth. People with emotional control win more. Period. They don't get caught up in drama. They don't take every comment personal. And they don't let every bad day turn into a bad week. That's power, because when your emotions run wild, logic takes a back seat. And when logic sits in the back, bad decisions get behind the wheel. You gotta reverse that situation. Put logic in the driver's seat and let emotions ride shotgun. But some folks like the chaos. They like to feel out of control because it gives them an excuse. I was just mad, they say. I was just emotional. Nah, you were just undisciplined, let's call it what it is. This ain't about being cold or heartless. It's about being strong enough to feel everything and still choose to respond wisely. That's grown. Folk power. That's leadership. That's strength. Look, everybody gets emotional. But not everybody has emotional intelligence, and that's the separator. That's what takes you from surviving to thriving, from being reactive to being unstoppable. You gotta lead yourself before you can lead anybody else. And that starts with recognizing, respecting, but not being ruled by your emotions. They're part of you, but they ain't all of you. Because when your emotions stop running the show, that's when your life starts changing. That's when you move from being tossed around by every feeling to standing firm, no matter what's going on around you. Train your mind like an athlete trains their body. You ever watch a whirl? Class athlete train. I'm talking about before the lights, before the fans, before the trophies. I mean the grind, the sweat, the early mornings, the discipline. That's what it takes to be great. Now imagine treating your mind like that athlete treats their body. Imagine what your life would look like if you trained your thinking that way. Your mind is the gym. Every thought is a rep. Every time you push past doubt, that's a set. Every time you get up when life knocks you down, that's you doing mental push-ups. You don't get strong by being comfortable. You get strong by being consistent. But too many people want a strong mind without putting in the reps. They want courage without challenge. They want peace without pressure. That ain't how it works. Your mind gets stronger when you test it, stretch it, work it out, and you don't wait until you're in the middle of a storm to start training. Just like an athlete, don't wait until game day to start practicing. You prepare in peace so you don't fall apart in chaos. You build the strength before you need it. You ever seen somebody who panics every time life gets a little rough? That's a mind that hasn't been trained. A strong mind says, yeah, this is tough, but I've been here before. A strong mind doesn't crumble. It recalculates. Now let's get real. Training your mind means feeding it right. You can't consume negativity all day, scrolling through drama, comparing your life to somebody's highlight reel, and expect your mind to be at peace. Nah, what you feed your mind will shape your grind. Start your day with truth. Fill your mind with wisdom, not worry. Read books that stretch your thinking. Hang around people that challenge your excuses. Watch what you listen to, cause what goes in is what comes out. And don't think mental training is only about positivity. No, it's about honesty too. You gotta look in the mirror and deal with what's real. You can't grow if you keep lying to yourself about where you are and what you're not doing. You see, athletes push through pain. That's what separates the good from the great. And your mind gotta do the same. Push through rejection. Push through fear. Push through failure. That's where strength is built. Mental training also means learning how to rest. Yup, I said it, rest. Even athletes take recovery seriously. Rest ain't laziness, it's strategy. When your mind is tired, you don't quit. You pause, reset, then get back to it stronger. And don't train just for defense. Train for offense too. Don't just react to life. Create it. A strong mind doesn't just survive, it thrives. It dreams bigger, thinks clearer, and moves smarter. You want a better life. Strengthen your mind. You want better relationships, finances, peace, joy. It all starts up here. Your mind is the engine. If that breaks down, everything else stalls out. Consistency is the key. You can't train once a week and expect to be elite. This is daily. Every day you choose, do I build strength or do I build excuses? You can't do both. And just like a trainer pushes you past your limits, you gotta push yourself mentally, stretch your thinking. Step outside your comfort zone. Challenge your old habits. That's how champions are made. So don't just wish for strength. Train for it. Build that mind until it's unshakable. Because when your mind is built, ain't nothing life throws at you that can break you. Pause before you react, let me tell you. One of the most powerful things you can learn in life is how to pause. I'm talking about taking a second before you clap back, before you blow up, before you let your emotions take the wheel. That pause, that's not weakness, that's wisdom. See, most people live on autopilot. Something happens and boom, they react. Somebody says something slick, and before you even think, you're already heated. That's how arguments start. That's how relationships end. That's how jobs get lost. Not because of what happened, but because of how you reacted. Now when you pause, something beautiful happens. You give your mind a chance to kick in before your mouth does. You give logic time to show up before emotion takes over. You step into control instead of letting chaos win. Pausing doesn't mean you're scared. It means you're strategic. It means you value peace more than proving a point. It means you understand that not every situation deserves your energy. You ever regret something you said in the heat of the moment? Yeah, we all have. Words don't come with delete buttons. Actions don't come with rewinds. That's why that pause is golden. It saves you from mess you'd have to clean up later. Think about it. When you pause, you're not just reacting to life. You're responding to it. And there's a big difference. Reaction is instinct. Response is intention. One is emotion. The other is wisdom. And don't let people bait you into reacting either. Some folks will try to push every button you got just to see if they still got access to your peace. Don't give them that satisfaction. Stay in control. Stay grounded. That pause, that's where your power lies. That second or two between what they did and what you do next. That's where your strength shows up. That's where winners separate from reactors. And listen, life will give you plenty of opportunities to practice this. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. Your coworker talks sideways. Your partner forgets something important. Life throws these little tests every day. Pass them with that pause. You start to see that not everything needs a reaction. Some things need silence. Some things need space. And some things need you to be the bigger person. Not for them, but for your own growth. Because when you react out of anger or fear or pride, you give away your power. You let the outside world dictate your inside peace. But when you pause, you reclaim that power. You decide how this story ends. And don't confuse pausing with bottling stuff up. You ain't ignoring the problem. You're just giving yourself the room to handle it right. You're stepping back so you can step in with clarity. That kind of self-control. That's rare. That's maturity. That's emotional leadership. And that's the kind of person people respect. Not the one who's always popping off, but the one who knows when to speak and when to stay still. So next time you feel that trigger get pulled, take a breath, count to 5, step back, say a prayer if you got to. Just don't react right away. That pause might save your day, might save your job, might even save your relationship. Because the truth is, you're not defined by what happens to you, but by how you handle it. And the pause, that's how you win the moment. That's how you keep your peace. That's how you stay in the driver's seat of your life. Use your mind to reframe negative emotions. Let's be real. Life's gonna throw you some heavy stuff. I'm talking about betrayal, rejection, failure, loss, heartbreak. And when it hits, those negative emotions come knocking loud and uninvited. But you've got something powerful, your mind, and when you use it right, you can flip the whole situation on its head. See, you can't always control how you feel, but you can control how you think about how you feel. That's where your strength lies. Your mind is like a camera. It can zoom in on the pain or it can pan out and show you the bigger picture. It can focus on defeat, or it can shift to opportunity. Let me break it down. You might feel like a failure after a setback. That's a real emotion, but your mind has the power to say, this ain't failure, this is feedback. Instead of drowning in the disappointment, you start learning from it. You grow from it, you use it, and that's what reframing is all about. It's seeing the same thing, but from a different angle. It's choosing to believe that this obstacle ain't here to break you. It's here to build you. That mindset shift is everything. Think about when people let you down. It hurts, right? That betrayal, that disappointment, it stings. But instead of sitting in the pain, you reframe it. This just revealed who they really were. I didn't lose a friend. I found the truth. Now that's power. You ever had somebody walk away from you and it crushed your spirit? Reframe it. They walked out so the right people can walk in. See, the pain doesn't disappear, but the meaning changes. And when you change the meaning, you change the impact. Now, this ain't about lying to yourself or pretending everything's fine. This is about being real, but still choosing a mindset that serves your future, not just your feelings. You're not ignoring the emotion. You're elevating the lesson inside of it. Your emotions say, I'm hurt. Your mind says, that's okay, but what can I learn? Your emotions say, I'm tired. Your mind says, rest, but don't quit. Your emotions say, this is the end. But your mind says, this might just be the beginning of something better. Reframing is how you keep moving forward when it feels like life is trying to pull you under. It's how you rise when everything else is trying to hold you down. It's the difference between staying stuck and growing up. You've got to get in the habit of catching those negative thoughts. When your emotions tell you you're not good enough, your mind better step in and say, that's a lie. I was built for this. Talk back to that negativity like you know who you are. And listen, this is a skill. It takes practice. You won't get it perfect overnight. But every time you reframe a situation, you get stronger. Every time you refuse to stay in that pit of negativity, you take back your power. Some folks are stuck in bitterness because they never learned to reframe. They're holding on to old pain, old offenses, old failures. But you ain't gonna live like that. You're gonna let your mind lead you to peace, to strength, to growth. That pain you felt, use it. That disappointment, learn from it. That fear, turn it into fuel. Your mind is the lens. How you see the storm determines how you come out of it. That's the truth. So the next time life punches you in the gut and your emotions start to spiral, pause. Then flip it, shift the view, say, okay, this is hard, but there's something in this for me, something I can use, something I can grow from. Because the emotion might be out of your control, but the interpretation, that's all yours. And when you start reframing with power, you stop surviving the storm and start commanding it. Set clear goals and let your mind drive you toward them. Let's get something straight. If you don't know where you're going, don't be surprised when you end up nowhere. Life ain't a guessing game. You need clear goals. I'm talking about knowing what you want, why you want it, and how you plan to get it. That's how you shift from just existing to actually living with purpose. See, goals give your mind direction. It's like GPS. You punch in the destination and your mind starts calculating the route. But if you're waking up every day just winging it, you ain't going nowhere fast. You're just burning gas with no plan. People love to say, I just go with the flow. But let me tell you something. The flow will have you drifting for years if you don't set a course. You'll be stuck watching other folks pass you by while you're still trying to figure it out. And when I say clear goals, I don't mean vague dreams. I want to be rich. That's not a goal, that's a wish. I want to start a business. Okay, but what kind of business, by when, with what plan? See, clarity is what turns dreams into strategy. Your mind works best with specifics. When you tell it exactly what to focus on, it gets to work. But if you keep feeding it confusion, don't expect confidence. Clarity builds momentum. Confusion builds procrastination. And here's the thing, once that goal is set, your emotions will try to interfere. Fear will whisper, you ain't good enough. Doubt will say, it's too late. But your mind, that strong, trained mind, has to respond, shut up. I've got work to do. Letting your mind drive means you don't wait to feel like it. You move anyway. The goal doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're scared. Goals only answer to discipline and consistency. That's what gets results. It's easy to start something when you're excited, but can you keep going when motivation runs out? That's where your mind steps in and says, we ain't quitting, we're just getting warmed up. That's the voice that separates success from stuck. And you gotta break that goal down into steps. You don't climb the whole mountain in one leap. You take it one step at a time. Small progress is still progress. One phone call, one email, one workout, one tough conversation. Stack enough of those and you'll be amazed at where you end up. Goals also protect you from distractions. When your mind knows the mission, it stops entertaining nonsense. You won't have time for drama, jealousy, or comparing your life to somebody else's highlight reel. You're too focused, too dialed in. You ever seen a racehorse with blinders on? That's how you gotta live when your mind is focused on a goal. Eyes forward, no looking left, no looking right. Just straight toward that finish line, baby. Now some folks will try to talk you out of it. They'll say, why you trying so hard? Why you dreaming so big? Don't let their small thinking infect your vision. Your mind ain't built to play small, it's built to chase greatness. And if you fall short, adjust the plan, not the goal. Life happens, setbacks happen, but you don't throw away the whole mission because you hit a bump. You regroup, you recover, and you keep pushing. Because when your mind is locked on a goal, it'll pull you through pain. It'll carry you through confusion. It'll remind you of the why when the how feels hard. That kind of mental drive, that's what creates winners. So sit down, write it out, speak it aloud, make it plain. Let your goal be so clear that your mind can't help but chase it. Because once your mind gets behind a vision, your life will follow. Surround yourself with mental strength. Let me tell you something that will shift your entire life. Who you surround yourself with matters just as much as what you believe about yourself. You can have all the drive in the world, but if the people around you are full of fear, doubt, and excuses, that stuff is gonna rub off on you. Mindsets are contagious. Choose your circle wisely. You need to be around people who think strong, speak life, and move with purpose. People who don't flinch under pressure. People who don't break when life pushes them. You need folks who challenge you to think higher, not lower, because mental strength, it's not just personal, it's environmental. If your circle is full of complainers, guess what you're gonna start doing? Complaining. If your crew always plays it safe, guess what you're gonna start doing? Playing small. But when you're around winners, fighters, and visionaries, that energy hits different. It wakes up something in you. You don't need a bunch of yes men who tell you what you want to hear. You need people who'll look you in the eye and say, that ain't good enough. You're better than that. Real ones who don't let you settle, even when you're tired. And listen, having mental strength around you doesn't mean everyone agrees with you. It means they sharpen you. Iron sharpens iron, right. That means there's gonna be friction, there's gonna be challenge, but that's what makes you better. That's how growth happens. Sometimes you gotta evaluate your circle like your life depends on it. Because it does. Who's pouring into you? Who's draining you? Who celebrates your wins? Who gets quiet when you shine? Pay attention. Energy doesn't lie. It's not about cutting people off just to feel superior. It's about alignment. If you're trying to level up, but they're comfortable staying stuck. That tension will wear you out. You need alignment, not attachment. And here's the thing. Mentally strong people don't just show up when everything's good. They're the ones holding you down in the trenches. They're the ones reminding you who you are when you forget. They speak truth even when it hurts because they love you enough to keep you accountable. You ever leave a conversation feeling lighter, more focused, like your spirit just got a jolt of caffeine? That's mental strength. That's the kind of people you need in your space. People who don't panic in storms, people who pray with you, plan with you, push you. And let's flip the mirror too. Are you mentally strong for others? You can't just be a taker. You gotta be the kind of friend, partner, or leader who lifts others too. Strength attracts strength, and you gotta bring something to the table besides need. Now, this kind of environment don't happen by accident. You gotta be intentional. Go to places where strong-minded people hang out. Read what they read. Show up to growth-minded spaces. You might start small, but that seed will grow if you water it right. Sometimes the biggest upgrade you can make in life ain't your job. It ain't your car, it's your circle. That shift in company will unlock parts of you that you didn't even know were possible. Mental strength activates mental strength. When life gets hard, and it will, you're gonna lean on the people around you. Make sure you've built a network, not a net that drags you down. You want folks who remind you that quitting ain't in your DNA, that fear ain't your future, that pressure only produces diamonds. And don't be afraid to outgrow some folks. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. Some people were only meant for a season, not a lifetime. You're not being disloyal by growing. You're being responsible with your purpose. Because the truth is, your environment will either feed your strength or fuel your struggle. Surround yourself with people whose minds are stronger than the moment. People who help you rise, not retreat. That's how you win. That's how you build a life that can't be shaken. Faith and focus, the ultimate mental weapons when the battles of life come rushing in. You better believe two things will carry you through: faith and focus. Those two are like a sword and shield. Faith gives you the confidence to keep going when nothing makes sense, and focus keeps your eyes on the prize when distractions start knocking. See, faith ain't just for church on Sunday. Faith is for the Monday morning when your bank account is low, your back is against the wall, and everything in your life is screaming give up. Faith says, no, I believe there's more to my story. That's power. That's fire, that's survival, and faith isn't about pretending everything's okay. It's about trusting that even if it's not okay right now, it will be. Faith says, even though I can't see the whole path, I'm taking the next step. That's strength right there. Stepping without sight, but moving like it's already done. Now pair that with focus, and you become unstoppable. Focus is your ability to lock in on the mission and block out the mess. Focus says, I don't have time to argue. I don't have time to explain. I don't have time to be distracted. I've got work to do. Focus will keep you moving when emotions want to keep you stuck. You might be hurt, but focused. Tired, but focused. Confused, but still focused. That kind of mental clarity is what separates the great from the average. You ever notice how distractions always show up right when you start making progress? That's not a coincidence. The enemy of your breakthrough is anything that pulls your attention from what really matters. And focus is how you fight back. Now faith gives you the fuel, and focus gives you the frame. Faith says, it's possible. Focus says, here's how I'm gonna do it. You need both, because if you have faith but no focus, you'll believe big but never build. And if you have focus but no faith, you'll grind hard but burn out fast. Faith feeds your spirit. Focus guards your mind. Together they make you dangerous. In the best way, because once you believe it's possible and commit to the work, you step into a whole new level of living. And listen, your faith will be tested. That's just part of the game. You'll have days when your prayers feel ignored, when the doors don't open, when everything you try seems to fail. But faith doesn't quit just because things look quiet. Faith waits, faith works, and faith watches for the breakthrough. At the same time, focus keeps you grounded while you wait. It says, while I'm trusting for better, I'm still doing what I can with what I've got. Focus makes sure your time, energy, and effort are lining up with your vision, not your emotions. You've got to protect both, too. Protect your faith from negativity. Protect your focus from drama. Don't let just anybody speak into your dreams. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Some folks only come to distract, not to develop. There are going to be moments when quitting feels easier. That's when you dig deep. That's when you lean into your faith like never before. That's when you put your blinders on and say, I'm not stopping until I see what I saw in my spirit become real in my life. Because faith doesn't just change situations. It changes you. It changes how you think, how you speak, how you move. And focus turns that inner belief into outward action. That's how you build step by step, day by day, with fire in your belly and a vision in your heart. So don't underestimate the power of those two weapons. Faith will lift you, focus will lead you, and together they'll carry you through storms, setbacks, and silence. When your mind is fueled by faith and directed by focus, you don't just survive, you rise. This world can't break someone who has unshakable belief and unrelenting discipline. You'll be the one who makes it. You'll be the one who finishes strong. You'll be the one who turns pain into purpose and obstacles into outcomes. That's what happens when you keep your faith high and your focus sharp. Let me leave you with this right here. Life ain't about how perfect your circumstances are. It's about how powerful your mindset is. You can cry, you can feel pain, you can get knocked down. But don't you dare stay there, because the moment your mind decides, I'm not losing anymore, that's the moment your life starts to change. Every challenge you face, every tear you wipe, every door that slammed in your face, that wasn't the end. That was just pressure building the diamond inside of you. But if your emotions run the show, you'll never see the breakthrough. Emotions react, but your mind responds and responds. That's where strength lies. You got a calling on your life that can't be fulfilled through feelings. You need discipline. You need focus. You need faith. You need to train your mind like a warrior, because the battle isn't just out there. It's in here between your ears. That's why you gotta wake up every day and say, my mind is built for this. My future is bigger than my fear. My destiny is louder than my doubt. That's not ego. That's survival. That's mental toughness in motion. Yeah, emotions might make you human, but a strong mind makes you unbreakable. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to be born with it. You can build it. One choice at a time, one day at a time, one battle at a time, and guess what? You ain't gotta walk this journey alone. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Speak life into yourself when the world tries to speak fear. Set your goals, lock in your focus, walk by faith. And when you get hit, don't fold. Fight back with wisdom, not weakness. Let your emotions ride in the car, but don't ever hand them the keys. Let your mind drive. Let purpose lead. Let vision command the wheel, because you were not created to be stuck, scared, or silent. You were created to win, but only when your mind is stronger than your emotions. So the next time life tries to break you, smile and say, I was made for this. Because when your thoughts are strong, your emotions don't run the show. And when your emotions don't run the show, you don't fall apart. You rise. This is your season. This is your moment. Don't waste it trying to please people. Don't waste it crying over closed doors. Strengthen your mind, master your emotions, and step boldly into the victory that's been waiting on you all along. Now go out there and win. not because it's easy, but because your mind is ready. Your heart is steady, and your purpose is calling you higher. It's your time. Let your mind lead you to the life you were born to live.